Hey folks, Buck Rizvi here, and I have on the line with me a very good friend that I've known for, wow, I think it's been over 10 years, Eben, since we met. I'm kind
Yeah,
of dated
probably
here,
around that time.
2008 timeframe. Good friend Eben Pagan, and Eben's in Miami. I'm in Boulder, Colorado. We're leveraging technology to have a chat about his new book. And I'm just so excited that, Eben, you took the time to come and share it with me, share it with our audience. And I've got a few pointed questions since we know each other pretty well. I think I can ask them with a
Yeah,
straight
take it
face.
away.
And so let me just start by giving the audience a little perspective on who you are and why they should listen to you and take a look at your book. So I've got a quick bio to share. So Eben Pagan is an entrepreneur and investor who has built over 10 different online brands and businesses to the $1 million level. His businesses are all 100% virtual, which I love, as many of you know, with no office for over 15 years now. Eben and his family spend more than 6 months per year traveling and living the virtual lifestyle. In his new book, Opportunity, which I have a copy of right here, Eben explains how opportunity is changing, why it's increasing for all of us, and how to find and create more high quality opportunities for yourself and your business. So, and I think the book's a lot more than that, Eben, but it's just, I'm super stoked. Would you like to add any color to that bio? Because you're a very rich, deep person.
Well, as I've been saying lately, I've lived a lot of past lives. I, I was a rock and roll guitar player. I worked in a metal shop. I made jewelry. I was a real estate agent. I've tried a lot of different things. I was a dating guru. I've been an entrepreneur teacher. I'm an investor. You just mentioned, now I've been collecting art.
Yeah.
I mean, every few years I find something new and interesting, and then I, kind of get into it.
Yeah.
And then I go teach people about it. That's the pattern. That's my karma.
You love to teach. I know. I've known that about you since I've met you. So, and you're a great teacher. You're great at synthesizing a lot of the inputs that, and I know you read. I don't know how many books you read in the last year. Is probably 100. So I know you read intensely and you synthesize that information. You love to share the best bits with people, which I really think you've done spectacularly with Opportunity. And I just want to share a little backstory here about Eben. So Eben invited me. I don't know why you invited me, but you invited me to a teaching opportunity. I was just in San Diego, and it reminded me of that, which was the first altitude event. It was sort of like the preview of altitude that you had done.
Mm-hmm.
And you just done this. You brought on all these high-level marketers. I had no business being in that room, but all these very successful marketers were in the room listening to you, taking copious notes about how to launch and scale a business, and using your online business as the example of that. And you were sharing how you built a virtual business. Everyone was working virtually, and I think you were doing at that time over 20 million in revenue.
Yeah,
sharing the story about that. So the fact that you love teaching, synthesizing, teaching, and sharing, and I know personally you've been doing that for a long time. And then in addition to that, I think there was an event you had at a place called the House of Blues. I don't remember that, but I'm wearing the shirt that I bought at that event. You were there on stage. And I came and
oh, that's great.
said hello, and then I bought the shirts. I remember, Eben Pagan. So I'm a big Eben Pagan fan. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thanks, Buck.
But I do have, now I'm going to get into the juicy bit, because I want to ask some questions about this book. And this book, I've read a bunch of books by folks that are very successful and that I respect. And many of them are a bit light, I might say,
Mm-hmm.
without naming names. And some of them, maybe they had a ghostwriter help them write this. I don't get that impression from this book. First of all, it's dense. This book has a lot of density to it, and it's very thoughtful. And so I just wanted to say that if you're looking for something that is just a light read, that's not what you'll find in Opportunity. Can I ask why this book and why now?
Yeah. Well, over the last 20 years or something, I've been really interested in creating success in my life. I grew up out in Oregon in the backwoods, poor, didn't have any success role models really. And I had to figure it out for myself. And I tried a lot of business ideas. Many of them didn't work out. Fortunately, I kept at it and I was able to crack the code. And, as you mentioned, I've launched several successful companies. And as I was thinking about it, I mean, I've interviewed hundreds of, millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs. I've met lots of different successful people, and I'm always looking for patterns, and I'm teaching these things. And a couple of years ago, one of them just really struck me as I looked across. It was something that I just hadn't noticed before, and I hadn't heard others talking about.
Okay.
And it was, the most successful people are just great at finding and creating opportunities. And if you look around at the most successful people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The really
They're sensitized to something. They
somehow are just great at finding opportunities and creating opportunities, and they're great at making decisions about which opportunities to pick and to bet on.
Okay.
And when I saw that, and then I started thinking about it, and I've taught about opportunity in the past, but I just got, this is the central thing. And I realized that opportunity is the heart of entrepreneurship. It's the heart of business and financial success. So I started writing down all the ideas that I had about opportunity, and, came to dozens of pages. And then I taught a course on it, and I realized I need to write a book about this. And it's been years since I've written a book. And so over the last year, I've written this book. I wrote the whole thing myself. I worked really hard on it.
I can tell. Yeah, this has got Eben's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. I was just saying, I was making videos. My hands are actually tired because every day I would get up and I would, write for a couple of hours. And it's.
I can imagine the edits on this, because the original manuscript must have been 5 times.
I did. I took a lot out, in fact. And we're doing a launch right now, and I'm grabbing some of the things I took out, and I'm putting them in as bonuses and downloads and things. Smart. Because I just can't bear to. I worked hard on a lot of this stuff, and I just can't throw it away, Yeah. But it was a lot longer.
That's awesome, man. So you do cover some things that I think people hear consistently in books of this genre. You sort of and maybe you can chat about it, the importance and what you learned relative to money mindset.
Sure. Well, I think most people haven't gotten much education about money. I mean, most of the people I know did not grow up with their parents teaching about money. Yeah. John D. Rockefeller, he grew up, he kept a little notebook as he grew up with all of the money that he got in and all the money he spent. And then
he had the ledger with him all the time
in his pocket. And he taught that to, his kid, who then taught it to his, kids, and it created this dynasty. I didn't grow up with a family that was teaching me about money when I was a child. And so we have to learn about these things. Same thing with entrepreneurship. These are skills that we have to learn. And because of the nature of opportunity, because opportunity is the heart of entrepreneurship and I think financial success, being able to find and create and then make decisions about the best opportunities, pick the best ones.
Yeah.
We have to understand that the nature of opportunity is changing, that it is changing right now. And because it's changing, if we don't know how it's changing, we're not going to be able to recognize it. And we're just going to miss so many of them, And so in a lot of ways, understanding the changing nature of opportunity is the doorway that helps us then get access to be able to create business and financial success, I think.
You kind of allude to that opportunities are coming at us faster.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe the doors are opening and closing faster as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I've got a whole chapter in the book, and I call it The Nature of Opportunity, where I share 6 patterns about how opportunity is changing. And the first one you mentioned there, it's accelerating.
Yeah.
Right? So we're on this exponential acceleration path right now. Ray Kurzweil talks about the law of accelerating returns. Technology, the internet, software, all of these things are, just accelerating how fast we can do things. That's making things that we can do more sophisticated. They're also creating challenges. But the bottom line is opportunity is accelerating. We're gonna have exponentially more opportunities in the future. And a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by that, Eben? I don't feel like I have more opportunity. Well, access to it is to think about how many options you have. Okay, how many options you have relative to how many you had just a few years ago. How many options do you have to, try new foods or go to new places?
Just log into Netflix.
Exactly. Or YouTube, right? And options to meet new people or to travel to new places or to learn new things.
Yeah.
These are just exploding right now, these options. And each of these actually represents an opportunity. It's an opportunity to do something, to learn something. And when it comes to learning, which I think is really the game changer here, we have so many options to learn. And we have options to create new business models and options to find new customers. And so all of these are all opportunities. And when you put them together, you can make a unique one for yourself. But then also, as you mentioned there, opportunity, because it's accelerating, the windows of opportunity are opening up faster.
Yep.
They're staying open for a shorter amount of time, and they're closing faster.
Wow.
So you have to be prepared emotionally and psychologically for when a great opportunity shows up to act on it. Because
you have an evaluation framework for opportunities. I think there are two things that kind of struck me as really interesting. One is sort of an evaluation framework. I like to get into that in just a moment.
Sure.
And then it's not just one thing, right? It's not just one opportunity. I think you kind of make a point about evaluating and maybe having a portfolio of opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are moving into kind of a portfolio type of a model where you have to manage all of these things. For me, the challenging one is when the opportunities come up and they're in very different domains. Okay. So if you've got like 2 business opportunities or 2 investment opportunities, they're pretty easy to compare relative to, one of the ones I've been talking about lately is, I was in my little office and getting some, great ideas and getting some downloads, and I'm typing them into my computer, and I hear the pitter patter of little feet of my little 4-year-old daughter.
Right.
She comes up and she like grabs me and she's like, Dad, come play. And right. So those are very different types of opportunities, or the one that's the hard one for me is if she comes in and she goes, Dad, I'm hungry. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
And so, let's say that you've got a physical opportunity in your life, so, as an example, maybe some friends call up and say, hey, let's go play sports this afternoon. And then, over on the other side, you realize, oh, you know what, this person that I'm interested in romantically, maybe they want to go on a date.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been kind of lonely lately.
Right.
And then, maybe your business has a great opportunity to go create a new product or create a new marketing campaign. And you're looking at all of these. How do you compare those to each other? Right. And so this is because of
is this a values exercise, so to speak?
It is values exercise. I recommend this thing where we go out to the end of our lives and exercise, go to the end of your life and look back and ask, what do you look like actualized? What do you look like when you've become like your greatest version of yourself? Like imagine yourself fully, like physically self-actualized. What shape do you want to be in? The energy level. Imagine yourself emotionally and socially self-actualized. Who are the relationships you want to have? What's the state of your romantic relationship? What's your family look like? And then look at yourself intellectually self-actualized, like learning and becoming all you can be and your purpose.
Right.
Imagine you like fully, the acorn, the oak is the self-actualized acorn.
Yep.
Like what is the oak version of you? And then from there, come back and ask, will this get me there?
Right.
Will this opportunity actually get me to that place? Because when you're comparing opportunities across these different domains, it can shut us down.
Yeah.
We're
no
not
action.
Yeah, exactly. Paralysis of analysis. I call it opportunity shock.
Okay.
Where there's so much opportunity come in that we just shut down.
Yeah.
Most people think that more choices are a good thing. I like to have more choices intuitively, right? But Barry Schwartz wrote in The Paradox of Choice, right? Past a few choices, we get a few, we go, this is great, but you get to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's too much.
Yeah.
Never mind, like you're saying, Netflix or YouTube. It's just, you remember, people.
I remember the 3 channels, and I watched Batman on one of them, and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And then people would sit on the couch with the remote control and just flip through, not watching anything. And then now it's just, a few seconds of a video and then on to the next one, not a lot of quality, of learning and development. And so, so we have to really touch into what we're trying to do with our lives, because I'm telling you, opportunity, we are just at the beginning. This is a tsunami that is coming of options.
It's exciting and scary.
It is.
It's exciting and scary.
So learn how to manage them.
One thing, and I'm a bit of an introvert, I think, but I forced myself because of a career in sales to get out of that mode of, behavior. And, and I sense, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I sense it. Maybe you're a little more like me, that in a sense you could be an introvert, but you also put yourself out there. So you like your privacy, but you have your circle of friends. So how important is this notion of being in the part of the pack versus being the lone wolf and being able to identify opportunity and be successful?
Yeah, opportunity is interesting in that a lot of people think of opportunity. The definition in the dictionary is a favorable juncture of circumstances. Right, that's an opportunity.
Okay. Yeah.
From the Latin, the original word was opportunus, and that was if you're on a ship and you've gotten into the harbor
Mm-hmm.
and you've got the wind in your sails, and then you can see the port that you're sailing to. That was when you were in a state of opportunist.
Right. Okay.
Right. And what was the question again?
Well, it's just about, can you
Oh
do
yeah,
this?
no,
Can you
I
do this
remember.
alone? Can you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this like locked in your room like I am right now? I'm in my home office, and I can shut off all distractions and focus on one or two opportunities, or what's the relevance of friends and like-minded people and getting out there, and what's the
Yes.
balance? I don't know, to be successful.
Yes. Got it. And so, so I'm mentioning the ship in harbor, and you can see where you're going. So in a certain sense, this is almost like a metaphor that implies purpose, where you can see the outcome that you're going for. And when you can see that as an individual, and this is one of the reasons why I recommend like imagining your life and you when you're at the most actualized, so that you can compare opportunities against it. You can compare these options against it. Opportunity is essentially, in a lot of ways, it's a self thing. It's a thing that you do where you generate value for yourself. That's the connotation of it mostly.
Okay. Yep.
But to become happy, to actually feel both the
Fulfilled.
the present emotion of happiness,
right?
Like, glee or joy, or just being happy in the moment, and also the version of being fulfilled or satisfied, right, with your life. To have both of those really requires social relationships.
Yeah.
This is it. If you go to work in your business and you just kick ass for months, and you're just like head down, and then you make $1 million and you've got a bunch of money and you've thrown it up in the air and you're rolling around in the bed and you're like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
There's going to be a part of you that's going to be hollow and empty. But if you go spend a couple of days with some good friends and you have real conversations about your life, some of them might be painful, some of them might be happy, you'll joke around. Right. You'll find at the end of that, you'll probably feel a lot more happy and satisfied than going and making, another $1 million. And so very important you're asking about the group there. It's very important to connect to and be part of the social group, because that's the opportunity to be happy and to create it for other people. And
be around people that can be happy for you, for your success, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's a little distinction there, but yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of times in business, the people that you're working with or competing with are not going to be as happy for you as your friends and your family, the people who love you.
Yeah.
And we forget this, we forget this. You need to do all of them.
Exactly. Well, getting back.
Yeah. Can I just say one more thing? Well, because I titled the book Opportunity, and you can see I've got the hand grasping the lightning bolt and so on there. Yeah. I'm implying, you getting success for yourself and you grabbing the opportunity, and you kind of creating this thing.
Yeah.
But it's not opportunity in the sense of just being an opportunist, where you're just going short term and trying to, take value or just get things for yourself. I'm talking about it in the big scheme of life, like really creating a balanced life, seeing all of your different opportunities, whether they be physically or in your body or materially or emotionally or socially, or to learn and to grow or to have a purpose or to reach a purpose or to make a contribution or an impact in the world. All of these different things, there's opportunities for all of them. And I'm speaking about opportunity in a more holistic sense.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I noticed that. I saw that it's going in. It's a very multi-dimensional book. It's not just a how to build a virtual company and sit on the beach with your laptop, and ride off into the sunset. And so much, much deeper than that. And you mentioned holistic. You actually go through a framework for evaluating opportunities. And I believe you have a score mechanism. Do you mind sharing maybe a little preview of the HAPS score and how you evaluate something, or is that too much at this stage?
No, that's great. No, that's great. Yeah. And by the way, as you said that, working at your laptop in a virtual business at the beach, I am in a virtual business. I'm at my laptop, and the beach is
in Miami,
window right there.
Yeah.
And so I love that part too.
Sure.
And in probably 60 or 80% of the book is kind of slanted toward business and entrepreneurship and success, because I know that that's what people want, is those tools. But yeah, so when I mentioned before that we have these different types of opportunities, and then we have this, we want to compare it to self-actualization. What I try to do is I ask, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is this opportunity going to contribute to my self-actualization, to me becoming everything that I can be in my life.
Yep.
Quick 1 to 10. So maybe, we're talking about my friends call up and say, hey, you want to go play sports? Or maybe, you've got this date that you could go on tonight, or maybe you could go, spend the time making a new product for your business.
Yep.
Right? If you look at that and you ask, okay, scale of 1 to 10, just quick gut check, how much will going out and playing sports with my friends contribute to my self-actualization?
Right.
And you might say, well, I go play sports with them all the time, and it's fun, but not super important now. Maybe that's like a 1 or a 2. I don't know, a date. Maybe I'm lonely in my life right now, and I've met somebody that this could really be something. Maybe I've been working hard in my business, and I've got that feeling. This could really mean something to the long term of my life. I could create a family, and you say, that's probably like an 8 or a 9 on the scale of 1 to 10, and then to go and create a new product. Maybe your business is doing fine and you're doing well, and it'd be good to create a new product, but maybe that's a 3 or a 4.
It's a bump, but not huge. Yeah,
exactly. Quick little gut check allows me, scale of 1 to 10, how much does this contribute to my self-actualization, to at least then not shut down. Because what happens is if you have no internal mechanism, or like a universal centralized currency that you can use to value these things.
Yeah.
You go, oh, my friends are calling me. Oh man, I could go on this date. I'm supposed to work on my product. And, I told my team, you know what, I'm just going to go watch TV.
Right. Everything's urgent. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to give it a scale of 1 to 10. How much will this contribute to my long-term self-actualization?
Right.
And you'll find if you keep doing this, you may pass up short-term opportunities, but your life is just going to keep getting better and better and better. And I call these holistic actualization points.
HAPS.
Or HAPS.
That's the HAPS.
Or short. Exactly.
I heard HAPS. I'm like, wow, that's a cool phrase.
And it's kind of a little homage to my wife, because she uses the word HAPS when she's happy. She says, honey, that gives me the HAPS.
Okay.
And so I call them holistic actualization points. How many holistic actualization points, 0 to 10, 1 to 10, would you give for each of these things? And it just quick gut check.
Yeah.
Now you can sort through different types, very diverse opportunities quickly, and make a decision that you'll feel good about long term.
I love it. And it seems that would lead to a better, more centeredness and, more serenity, less anxiety when you're able to evaluate things. And at least you have a way to do it, and then take action, and maybe it becomes automatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
and of course, by the way, if you're looking at a business opportunity or an investment opportunity, in the book, there are a bunch of different mental models. In other ways, you want to analyze that based on what's my return on investment, or what's my expected financial return, or, maybe use Pareto. And you want to use different types of models to analyze your opportunities as well. But you just need a quick little gut check for whether something even makes it through the filter for more serious consideration.
Totally get it. So you talk about, we alluded to this earlier, you talk about maybe having a portfolio.
Yeah.
Could you talk a bit about this testing multiple opportunities? How many should you evaluate at once? And I know you have a framework in here for sort of maybe rating them against each other, and HAPS is probably part of that.
It is. Can I answer that question just a little bit differently?
Sure.
I think that because there are so many opportunities coming in, and there are going to be so many more.
Yeah.
The people that I know, the people that are entrepreneurs and who are the opportunists that I know who are already into this, like they're already good at opportunity, they are reporting back to me an explosion of opportunity. They're all just running into, they kind of don't know what to do with it right now.
Right.
And a lot of times, that's like I think it's like a little taste of the future for all of us. There are certain people, who just, they live in the future. They're already figuring out everything. They already, are going to the places that are cool before anyone's heard about it. And they're,
Sure.
Listening to music that's cool and whatever. Well, the people that I know that's happening for, they're just having this explosion of opportunity. So we can dive in if you want into like specific opportunities. We can talk about how to judge them against each other, but I want to give you one thing that I feel like is a better way to approach it, right?
Okay.
So I recommend that each of us has what I would call one new passion project every year. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they say that they're looking for one good idea a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for one good investment a year.
Right.
I try to use that philosophy when I invest in companies. I try to find one per year, and I don't even find one per year. And I'll make a financial investment, and then I'll work with the founder of the company for a year. And I look at lots of people come to me
Yeah.
and say, hey, will you invest in my company, or will you look at this and whatever? And I try to look at as many as I can.
Okay.
I try to pick the best one. What most people are doing is they're dispersing, they're distributing, they're spreading their attention and their resources out.
They're diluted, right?
Yeah, very diluted among a bunch of things that they don't really understand. And so I've taken this and I've used it. So the passion project idea is once a year, and maybe it's at the beginning of the year. Maybe it's like a,
makes sense,
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You start one new project around something that you're interested in and passionate about. And it has to be a new thing, and ideally very different from all the other things that you've become interested in or passionate about. And if you start a passion project, what this means is you're not doing it as a business, you're not doing it as a philanthropy, you're not doing it, you're just doing it because you're interested in going and learning about it.
Okay.
Go read some books, go to a seminar, take an online course, go find the hangout, online, or the forum where all those people are hanging out. Right. Go to some meetups. Just start putting a few hours a week into it, learning about it, connect up with some other people, and meet some other people that are geeking out on that thing.
Yeah.
If you look at Steve Jobs, right? He and Steve Wozniak were part of the Homebrew Computer Club, where super geeks all got together and they hung out and they talked about computers, and they were interested in software and building their own stuff. And these guys were the stars of the show, and they took it and it turned into something really big. Yeah. That's, I think, how you create something. When I go back in my life, things that where I was passionate about them, they turned into things that were meaningful for me. Okay. Then after you do that for maybe a month or something, a couple months learning about it, see if you can do a project with a few people. Find a few people and see if maybe it would be fun to do something, put on an event or create a white paper or make a course, or, do an online training where you just teach people about the thing, or make some videos. Right. And again, notice how it calls your passion. And if you're really into it and you find people that are great to work with and it looks like it could be something, then go and ask, could this be a business? Right. Could this be a philanthropy? Could this be a cause that we're starting? Could it be a club? What could this then be? And if you do this, I think once a year, and again, make sure they're diverse. Make sure that they're in very different parts of your life and in new areas that are interesting to you, right? Every couple or few of them that you do will turn into something, and it'll be successful. And then you'll have, a great cause or a philanthropic thing that you'll be working on. You'll maybe have a couple of business ideas that'll be working. You'll have a couple of hobbies, and you'll have a really rich life, and you'll be working around and hanging out with people that are also really interested in the things that they're talking about.
It sounds like an amazing model for discovery, self-discovery. And that's covered in the book?
Yeah, totally. Concept? Yep. The passion project is in there. Yep.
I love it. Okay. So I'm leading the witness here because I know you have a bias. I have a bias towards this. Is if you just had to say, what's the best type of business in general for people to get started with today?
Well, I'm biased.
I know you are.
But I'll tell you, I've been teaching entrepreneurship and business for over 10 years now. Mm-hmm. And so I'll give you a little context here and then I'll tell you what my biased answer is. Yeah. Peter Drucker decades ago said that we're moving into what he called a knowledge economy, and that most of us are knowledge workers, which means that we get paid more for what we do with our minds than what we do with our hands. Yeah. We're paid to think and to do things intelligently and do them better. And in a knowledge economy, Peter Drucker also said that the university system was eventually going to collapse, and that it was going to create this multi-$100 billion opportunity for an alternate education to come in. And it actually is going to be much bigger than that. It's going to be trillions of dollars worth of opportunity, because in a knowledge economy, what everyone needs is knowledge. They need to learn things and get better. I heard that we're going to each have like 4 or 5 or 6 careers in our life and like 12 or 15 jobs in the future. That's just standard. Okay. And that's because industries are coming and going, and we have to learn new skills. I mean, I don't know what you were doing 5 or 7 years ago, but it's something different now. And I don't know what you're going to be doing.
Training is the thing. In fact, now you were talking about self-retraining because you're just interested in trying something new.
Exactly. And so what we do know for sure is that what you're going to be doing in the future is going to be different, and it's going to be different. You don't know what it's going to be, probably. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's going to require you to learn new things in new ways. Yeah. And so I love the knowledge product industry. I love the information industry, and I love coaching, right? These are my favorites right now. And I feel like being able to take knowledge and package it up into either a book or a course or an online training, or to support other people, to coach other people as they're going through these transitions that we're talking about, that these are really cornerstone skills.
Yeah.
And so I think these are also the best businesses to start, because to start a coaching business, it's very inexpensive. You go learn amazing skills about how to support. I define coaching as supporting another person through a transition in their life.
Okay.
Right? People show up and they need coaching when they're going through a transition in their physical life or their personal life or their relationship or work. They need some support. And because social media has actually separated us from each other, we think we know 1,000 people, but we're not hanging out with our friends anymore.
Yep.
We don't have the social support that we need when we're going through the transitions.
We need the depth. And,
so we're going through 5 times or 10 times as many transitions, but we have much less social support. And so the coach is a
superficial. Yeah.
Yeah. They're a professional supporter, a professional friend. And so when you learn the skill of becoming a professional friend, it serves you all through your life. It serves you with your family and your business and whatever. I love that one. And I also love digital products. I love creating online courses. I love creating information products. And both of these, because you can do them inexpensively, the skills that you learn when you do them and when you learn online marketing, you take them with you into everything else you do in the future, even if those careers don't work out for you or you do it for a while. You know, because as an entrepreneur, most things that you try as an entrepreneur don't work out the way you think they're going to. You have to keep trying. These skills, you'll just take them, you'll use them in your whole life forever. And so there's, they're
universal, right?
Exactly. They're like a Swiss Army knife.
I love it. Well, you have shared incredible nuggets, and it's just the tip of the iceberg for those that are taking advantage of the opportunity. And there's a special launch around this book. So in a moment, I'm going to share a link for folks to go to take advantage of that. But could you share a little bit about the launch and what's happening, what people can expect if they participate?
Sure. Yeah. So I took a long time to write this book. We decided we're going to launch it and just give it away for free. So we're doing a free plus shipping offer. I'll send you the book as a gift. You just pay the shipping and handling. Plus you get a bunch of bonuses. So you get downloads, you get a video series, you get to get on a live class with me called The Best Opportunities of 2018, where I'm going to share what I think are the best opportunities. I've been studying futurism for the last few years, and I've got a lot of good insights for that. I'll share some of my favorite business models. You get summaries, you get exercises, and so forth. Plus, you can take advantage of discounts on some of our other courses. So while we're doing our launch, you can get a copy of that book you just held up, sent to you in the mail. I will send it to you free. You just pay the shipping and handling.
This is not a thin, report. This is the real deal. It is. You will use it not only as a read through, you want to read it through cover to cover, but you'll use it as a reference. So there are very few books that I'm willing to go from Kindle to a physical book. And it's only books that I know I'm going to pull out off the shelf and reference again and again. This is one of them. So you definitely want to get a physical copy of this book, which is great that you're giving it away for shipping. And I would say that Eben is the master at synthesizing and sharing information and being a coach, because I know you love doing that, as you just described. So leveraging those bonuses, huge. And the fact that you're offering a free class along with that, even if someone doesn't buy anything else from you down the track, the value I know you love to impart is incredible. You've helped me a lot over the years. So Eben, thank you very much for doing that. Everyone that is listening in, to take advantage of that, go to fortuneover40.com/opportunity, fortuneover40.com/opportunity, and you'll be able to pick up the launch for Eben's book and be a part of the class, the free class he's offering, the downloads and all the bonuses, and just be a part of in Eben's sphere of influence. Because I know it's helped me and made me a lot of money and helped me be fortunate. And 10 years ago, like I said, I was a nobody. You invited me to participate in the preview of Altitude, and all the relationships, everything I've learned from you and the people that I was introduced to as a result of you, Eben, has had a massive impact on my life. So I'm getting a little emotional right now. I just want to say thank you very much for doing that. And please get your copy of Opportunity. Go to fortuneover40.com/opportunity. Pick this up. It'll be the best thing you do this year. So Eben, thanks so much for doing this. I know you've got other interviews and things going on, and hopefully maybe you can come back and talk to my audience again sometime in the future. I'd really appreciate that.
That'd be great, Buck. Thank you.
Thank you.